So in the previous video we have integrated the Hibernate with Spring Framework, and in this video we will implement service and data access layer. As in this project we will use the layered architecture, as the development houses is using the same architecture in their development. So we have already developed the presentation layer in our project, and we have also designed the controllers, and we have also integrated the Hibernate and used the MySQL to persist our object within the database. In this video series, or in this video, we will implement the service layer and the data access layers. Now, to implement the DO layers and the service layer, first we will create the two packages, like one package to put your DO's interfaces, and second the implementation classes for the DO. And secondly, to implement the service layer, we will create one package, the service package, and one more package, that is the implementation package. Service package will be used to place all the interfaces, and .impl package is used to save all the implementation class. This is the naming convention which is in use nowadays, and whatever the name of the package from here to here, but the last name should be the .do, and in the last, for the implementation classes, it should be .do.impl. Same with the service, the last will be .service, and the last containing package for the implementation classes of the service layer should be .service.impl. So as we are in the process of designing this application, so in the resource package we are having these two packages, like the controller package and the model package. In the model package we are having only one entity, that is user. So we will first create these two layers for our entity, that is the user entity. Now first I will create the package, and I name this package as org.gracealmond and .do. In this package I will put all the interfaces, and I will create one more package, that is org.gracealmond.do.impl. Now I will create two packages to implement the service layer, org.gracealmond.service. I copy this name. Now I will create one more package, and the name of the package will be org.gracealmond.service.impl. okay, so we have created these four packages in our application. Now in the DO package we will put one interface, and this interface will contain all the methods which are used to perform the CRUD operations within the database, like for creating the user or for inserting a new user into the database, then the update method, edit method, delete method, and to find the entity or to find the row within the database, and this is the projection type query. Projection means getting all the records from the database. And in the package do.impl package, this package we will put all the implementations of these methods which are there in the interface. So why we are creating the interface and then writing the implementation class? Now see, when you are writing an interface, now from the service layer only the methods which are defined in the interface will be called, and ultimately the method which is there in the implementation class got executed. Whenever you want to change the implementation class, you are free to change the methods which are there in the implementation class, and that implementation class should implement the interface, user DO interface. Now your application becomes more flexible because your controllers or your service layer will always call the methods which are there in this interface. So at any time you can change your the implementation of the methods in your IMPL class. So our project or the classes in a project becomes loosely coupled classes. So it will be very handy, or it will be very flexible to scale your project in the future, or to re-engineer the project, or to maintain your project. Same we will do with the service layer. First we will create one interface in the service layer, and then .impl package we will provide the implementation of this interface, and both these two interfaces will contain the same methods. Why they will contain the same methods? Like the 1 2 3 4 5 6 methods are there in the user DO interface, then the user service interface will only contains those 6 methods. If we want to add some method in this user service interface, then we have to first add that method into this user DO interface, because whenever the controller need to perform some business logic into the database, then the code to perform the business computation will be migrated to the service layer. And if that business code needs some database services, then it will take the help of this DO layer. Therefore the same method should be also present in the DO layer, so that the controller can call the methods of the service layer, then the service layer can call the method of the DO layer, then DO layer process the data by getting the data into the database, or by persisting the data into the database, and so on. So our code has been migrated or has been distributed into 3 layers: first in the controller part, second in the service part, and third in the user part. Okay, now I will start creating the user DO interface. For this, in the DO I will create one interface, and I name this interface as user DO. Now this interface will contain the methods which we are going to use to access the. So I will paste the methods which are required in the user DO. Since we are having only one single entity user within our this model package, so we are creating here only one interface. If we are having the multiple entities in our model class, then for each model class we have to provide the interface. Like the user DO is there, like product. If we are having one product entity product, then we have to design product DO. If we are having one entity order in this model package, then we have to provide one interface for the order DO. So the number of this DO classes depends on how many model objects are running or are available within your application. For each model object you have to provide one interface, so that the operations with that particular entity can be performed using this particular DO, because this is a data access layer you are going to design. Okay, now there is one method create which will take one user object as a parameter. Whatever the user object is passed as a parameter, that particular object is created into the database or inserted into the database. This is for updating the user, this is for editing the user. We will pass the user ID because this is the that is the primary key, and whatever ID is passed here, that particular object will be deleted from the database, or row is deleted from the database to find or to search the object having this user ID, and to get all the rows which are there in the table. Now we will design one implementation class for this DO in this package, do.impl package, and I will name this class, since the name of the interface is user DO, I will name this class as user DO impl. So I come to know that this is the implementation class. I will click finish here. Now this class implements user DO, the interface. To import this interface, and this interface is in DO package, then I will implement all the unimplemented methods within this DO. Okay, now I have to write the code here or to create the objects. Now before creating or before writing the code within this DO, I have to first want you to have a look on this the file which we have created in the earlier tutorial, and that is the file which is Spring Servlet. In this file, as we have discovered, we have created one object session factory which behaves like a connection as we used to create in the JDBC. So first we have to get the reference of this session factory. Now this is the, since this is declared as a bean in the file Spring Servlet.xml, so this bean with the ID session factory will automatically be created in your IOC container. Now we have to only get the reference of this session factory here in our class session factory, and the name of the session factory should be same as that of this bean ID, this session factory. I have to import this class session factory from the Hibernate package, org.hibernate. Now I will use the auto-wire notation, auto-wired annotation, so that when this class is loaded into the IOC container, then whatever the bean is created in the IOC container, that is a session factory bean, should get automatically be auto-wired within our class user.do.impl. Now I will also mark this class with the annotation repository. Now I will import this annotation from here, and in the repository part I will mention the name of this bean which is created. So this concept is clear to you why I have used this auto-wired. Now I come to this. Now these are the stereotype annotation because they are imported from the stereotype package. Now there are basically 4 stereotype annotation. First is the component, which is the superclass of all the stereotype annotations. Now there are the 3 subclasses for this component annotation. The first is repository, the second is service, and third is controller. So we have to use the appropriate annotation to annotate our classes. All these annotation does the same task. The task is to instantiate this class into the IOC container. We have to mention in this file to scan this particular package, that is which package, do.impl package, for any component. Now if a class is marked with the component annotation or the controller annotation or the service annotation or the repository annotation, will get instantiated as a bean in the IOC container. So why to use these different annotations? These annotations we have used will solve 2 purposes. First, it will instantiate this class user.do.impl class, and the second and most important is this is a marker annotation. Marker annotation means this class is a sort of repository. Repository means if you want to access the data or if you want to retrieve or delete or update the data, then you have to use this repository class. This repository is maintaining our data, or it's maintaining the data which is used in our application. So this class can be considered as a repository. Okay, now as we have auto-wired this session factory bean, now we have to open the session for this. So here I will use session, this is the return type, and then the method current session. This is because I'm writing this method to access the database. We need a session object. With the help of the session object, we will query the database. Dot get current session. Now this will return the current session, and we have to import this class from the org.hibernate. Now this, whenever we call this method get current session, our session will get started. Now we can query the database, like create method. For create method, I have to call this method get current session. This will return the current session which is associated with our application, and then dot, we have to save the object. We will save the object, save, and the object name is user. Save the user. Now this is the HQL which we are using. The important point to be noted here, we have not used any of the SQL queries that insert into the user the values, this and this and this and this and this. No need to write the SQL query. If we write the SQL query in that way, then that query will be database dependent query. Now since we have used one dialect, that is the dialect we have used here as in the configuration file, this dialect is having the information which database we are using. So that particular query will be converted into the syntax of this particular database. Here we are using MySQL dialect. As you can see in the properties file, the dialect we are using MySQL database. If I change the dialect to Oracle dialect, then this query, save query, when I'm writing, then the insert into table this query, when generated by the Hibernate first see which dialect we are using, so that it can design the query according to that particular database. So here we are using MySQL server, so this save will create the query and fire the query onto the database. Okay, now update user. Now we can write this, just copy this method current sessions, since we need the reference to the current session dot update. We have to pass the user here, update user. So no need to write the SQL queries, update user where ID is equal to this and all that. Okay, and this is a HQL, that is the Hibernate query language. So it has become very simple, and it has taken the burden of a developer on his shoulders, so that it will write the queries or will create the queries. Hibernate will create the queries by itself. So after update, we will write the query for this. For this I will say find and then user ID. I will explain to you what do you mean by this. First I will get to the method delete. In delete, first I have to copy the current session. In delete, first copy the current session and then dot delete the object having the user ID this. Then find. In the find, we are interested in finding the object. For that we have to provide the primary key as a parameter. So the find the object this or return the object this having the primary key this. So first we will have this session and then dot get method. Now this get method will take one class, that is the user class. We are having the user dot class, and then here the primary key, and here we pass the primary key. So it will get, or it will retrieve the object from the database having the primary key this, but this will return the object of class object, so we have to typecast it into the class user. So here when we are using the edit method, we first provide the primary key of the object, then within this method the find object has been called. Now it will return the object having the primary key this. Now that object will be returned to the user. This is the object which user wants to edit. First we will find the object in the database and that return the object to the database for editing. After editing, user wants to update the object, then the user send that object or call that update method, and then that object will be updated into the database. Now for get all, for this we have to use the criteria. First we have to copy this current session, then the current session, and dot create criteria. Create the criteria for class, that is user dot class, which is our model class, and then dot there is list method. It will return the list and that list of the user, that is all the records in the database, will be returned. So we are done with our DO class. Okay, we have create this create method, update, edit, delete, find, and this. It is as simple as that. Now we come to the server package and we create a new interface and name the interface as user service. Now in the service interface, as I have earlier discussed, it should contain exactly the same methods as there in the DO, because we have to divide the code between the controller, service, and the DOs. So both of them contains the same code. So I have to again create one class for the implementation class for the interface user service. I will name this interface as user service.impl. Now this is the implementation class, and interfaces, I can also add the interface from here. It will implement the user service interface. It will implement the user service interface. This remove, this finish. Now this is implementing the user service interface, and these are the unimplemented methods. Now here it is very easy to write the methods, implementation methods, because all the methods in the service layer will use the methods of the DO layer. So first we have to create the reference of the user DO. Now note, this bean will be instantiated as the name user DO. So this name and this name should be same, so that we can auto wire them. So we here use the annotation auto wired. We are using this annotation auto wired so that whenever this user service IMPL object is created, the object user DO will be auto wired to it. Means the user object of user DO will be provided to this. Now user DO, copy this. Now user DO dot simply call the create method of the user DO. Now for this update, call the update method of user DO. Now for edit, you have to return the object, so call the edit method of user DO. So for delete, again call the method of user DO, delete. Now to find, use the method of user DO, find. Now for getting the list, use the method of user.do, that is get all. Now controller will call the methods only from the service layer. Controller will never call the method of the DO layer, or never write a code so that the controller will be able to call the methods of the DO layer. If the controller wants the services of the DO, he should call the methods of the service layer, and on the part of the controller, service layer will call the methods of the DO. So we have made a clear separation between the controller and the DO by inserting this layer, service layer, between them. Now the user cannot be directly eligible to access our DO classes, because he can access the DO classes with the help of this service layer. This is again will also act as a service feature in our application. So here we have designed user DO interface, then user DO interface implementation class. This is the interface, this is the class. Then we have designed this user interface and this user interface class. So if we collect these two things, interface and a class, this creates our DO layer. And this user interface, user service interface and user service IMPL class, this represents our service layer. Now in the next video, what we are going to do, we will perform the insert operation using these layers into the database with the help of the form which is submitted by the user. So in that video we will first design the form with the help of JSP, and in the controller method we will first retrieve the data of the form using the model object our this user, and then we will use the method of the service layer to create the object into the database, or to insert the object into the database. So in this video we have implemented service and data access layer, and our objective is to perform the CRUD operations with the database. In the next video we are going to perform the insert operation in the database. For that we have to write the handler methods, and we will create the view for that.